So, having covered some of the basics in my previous video, I want to add a few tools into your wellbeing toolkit that you can use if they work for you. As always, not every tool is suitable for every job. You don't want to get out a screwdriver to bang in a nail. However, these are some things that are mostly easy to put in place and can add an extra dimension to caring for your well-being. So the first thing is the Sabbath. I love the fact that God created and rested. The Bible tells us that our value is derived not from what we produce, but from who we are loved by. In Exodus, the Israelites were reminded by God that no work should be done on the Sabbath. It's holy because that is the day God rested. It is part of putting God first. Now in Israel, they take that incredibly seriously. I made the mistake of getting into the lift on the Sabbath, and I wanted to push the button to go down, but a lady stopped me and said, "No, it's the Shabbat." That lift stopped every floor from level 17 to the ground, so no one needed to do the work of pushing the lift button. Something most of us wouldn't even consider work. Now, I'm not suggesting stopping pushing lift buttons, but when was the last time we really rested, really unplugged, disconnected, switched off, not on to vibrate? We're scared of falling behind or of being seen as less committed or less successful somehow. For me, for many Sabbaths, if I'm honest, were catching up on all the housework I hadn't got done during the week. Where was my rest? The day off was God's gift to his people. They didn't get it in slavery in Egypt, and the historian Thomas Cahill tells us that until this point in history, no civilization had ever given ordinary working people a day off. We need this precious God-given gift to us. Don't get me wrong, we're also commanded to work. But for many of us, rest is more challenging, unless you're one of those people for whom work is challenging. We can feel like it's impossible to take the time off, but ultimately our goals should be guided by God, not the thing we're striving for. The research on productivity backs this up. We can trust God for the undone in our lives. Running on empty and past the margins for too long runs down our resilience and starts to impact on those around us. We need to lead ourselves first. Now, some of us think that the phrase, "Does this bring me joy?" comes from Marie Kondo. However, Ignatius of Loyola, in his prayer of examen, asks, can we look inside ourselves and say, "Does this activity bring me joy?" And interestingly, psychologists tell us our brains miscalculate what will actually bring us happiness, like relaxing with the TV. But watching more than 2 hours actually leads to feelings of depression. And although walking may tire us physically, those kind of activities lift our mood. Honouring the Sabbath can mean finding things that bring us joy and draw us closer to God. We do have to get away from the adrenaline rush of constant work, emails, social media. In fact, taking time off can be stressful. Anytime we check a notification, it gives us a low-level dopamine boost, but it becomes addictive to the point when we can't stop checking. The second tool for today is gratitude. One of the remarkable things about gratitude, it has been shown to rewire our brains, even with as little as saying thank you for just 3 things in a day, and even if it's being thankful for your bed at night. Gratitude can be learned, and as we become more grateful, we get happier, more peaceful, and content. A Harvard psychologist, Sean Anker, says we can train our brains to be more thankful in just 5 minutes a day, and it's actually a great preventative for depression. The researchers in one study believed that people stayed happier even after stopping the practice of being grateful for 3 things a day after 3 weeks. We've shared a couple of things that will be helpful to you, but I've included many more on the worksheet that goes with these talks. And if you'd like a copy, please see below for the link.